everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about this lovely vintage 1940s Life magazine. It was published on the 7th of June 1943 and would have cost 10 cents at the time. On the front cover is American flying ace Captain Foss. As we've seen previously in my other magazine videos, the wartime references throughout all the adverts are extremely real. They are fully encouraged, and it's kind of used like to kind of guilt people into buying stuff, I suppose you could say. At the time, advertisers kind of used the war as an excuse to be, well, like, it's the war, so you need this product. Of course you need this product, it's the war. Wow, Ritz. I can't believe they go back so long, literally. Like, who doesn't love a Ritz cracker, really? Let's be honest. And this Spur Canadian Coke again, which I saw in the last one, which I'd never seen before. Here we are again. See, it's another thing to sell athletes' foot products because it's a war, the war's on. I love these old adverts. They look so glamorous and put together and just elegant. Oh, absolutely adore them. Everything was so much more detailed as well. Like, the adverts had a lot more description writing underneath. You can tell people definitely had longer attention spans back then. Here we see a bit more about Captain Voss's life, and also next to him a Tampax advert. Captain Foss was a farmer before the war, and he actually shot down 26 planes, I believe. On the right here we have another stunning advert by Yardley. Wow, I would be convinced to buy these products as well because they are gorgeous. The everyday glamour of people was just perfection. I wish we could bring this back like now. Honestly, I would love to be this glamorous like all the time. I wish everybody made the effort instead of like making out like it's try hard kind of stuff. Here are the farms. The floods on the farms was absolutely awful as I read through this. This is the cousin of Winston Churchill, Lady Sarah Spencer Churchill. She was married to Lieutenant Edwin Russell in May 1943. There was a lot of strikes in America during this time. On this picture of Winston Churchill and his like leaders of the army and whatnot really made me giggle because it says they run the war, and it just reminded me of Who Run the World girls. I find it so fascinating to see how products would have looked back then, like products that we still have now, such as the Johnson's baby powder and everything. Everything looks so boring now. Here we are, selling war bonds, I think that is. Yep, in the corner there. Wow, look at them hotel prices. Old school toaster, again, so cute to see how appliances would have looked back then. I think it's just beyond fascinating. Picture in your head Don Malarkey saying Lucky Strikes means fine tobacco. I think what this whole advert was getting at, that basically she needs like a great pen because she's got to chat to all these three guys, I'm assuming. Like the 40s version of a player basically. But sorry, the prices on these pens are actually ridiculously expensive, like even for today's standards. And what would a 1940s magazine be without smoking adverts? But don't worry, you can just brush away the smoking stains with Dr. West's Vray, which kind of looks to me like a powder that you put on your toothbrush. I'm not quite sure. Tinned milk to me seems like such a gross concept, I'm not gonna lie, but whatever floats your boat. This couple is the Negus and the Negusta of Ethiopia, which is the king and queen. Here we see pictures of their servants in the kitchens, etc. How to pull on a grieving mother's heartstrings and make her buy your product. This was pure World War II marketing 101. Here we have natives of Melanesia with American servicemen, I assume. I probably should have said this earlier in the video, but feel free to pause and take a look at all the pages because it's so interesting to see and just so different. These ladies are also natives of Melanesia. Here was famous composer Artur Rodzinski. I do apologise if I've butchered that. What more do you need? Soup and cigarettes. This magazine has like 100 pages, so I didn't show all of them, but there's so many like tobacco adverts and stuff like that. It really upset me because it was the reality for so many people during this time, not being able to sleep because of the issue that was going on. The one thing is that it was so still upbeat, and you just change automatically to then having Rita Hayworth in glamorous coats on the next page, then switching straight back up to pictures of an officer training school and weapons and what weapons are used. I'm kind of glad to see that citizens were in the loop though and knew what was going on and how their sons and brothers and whatnot would be taught. I'm glad they didn't really shy away from the harsh reality of what it was, even though that is very unfortunate. Though don't get me wrong, of course, media wasn't the greatest at the time and it still could have been covered more and people could have known more than what they did already. Another switch up to Betty Grayball's legs, which were incredibly famous during the 40s. She apparently, well, as you can see here, had a cracking pair of legs. This is what pin-up means. Soldiers could literally cut these pictures out and pin them up in the walls on their barracks or wherever they were at the time. Betty Grayball was certainly stunning and she was a sex symbol of the time. And boy, oh boy, did people really, really love these pair of legs. Slay, I guess. Here we have some denture adverts next to more of Betty's iconic pictures. She made this jacket herself and put all the symbols on it, I believe. And to be fair, these pictures are absolutely iconic. Here we have a Pond's advert using the incentive of getting married to use the cream. If you use this cream, you will be married because you will be that gorgeous. Lots of cosmetic companies did this at the time. Here is a Fort Benning student. Here is our man from the cover, Captain Foss, with his mother on the left of him and his wife on the right, and his story here about how he is a #1 ace. Absolutely incredible how ordinary people, literally, as you can see here, going from a farm to being able to fly a plane like that is just crazy to me. Another thing that tells of the era is the home births, which were, well, I know in England, popular until at least the late 60s to early 70s. This is the rest of Foss's story, and then this little cartoon, oh, so cute. Ads like this were kind of scary, but they definitely worked to get people to sign up. Here, these little weekly love stories are in the Life magazine between like two young people, and I can't quite work out if they're actors or if it's actually a love story, but it tells a little story there. I've read through it of it's like sailor boys and their girlfriends and stuff, but please let me know if you know if they're true or not. This little article in the middle tells of a horrifying story of a Greek boy that has gone through the horrors of the war. It was absolutely horrific what was going on right underneath everyone's noses. Ever dropped a depth charge? No, believe it or not. Did I hear someone say cigars? Yes you did. They do look fancy, I'll give them that. This little guy is Sprite Boy. He was a mascot for Coca-Cola in the 40s and 50s. I can't work out if he's terrifying or cute. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.